What drives AMR in our communities?
In the last video, we talked about what drives AMR inside hospitals, how resistant microbes spread in places where patients are already vulnerable. But AMR doesn't start in hospitals. A huge part of the problem actually begins long before someone ever gets sick enough to seek care. That's why in this video, we're moving outside the hospital walls and into the everyday places where resistance quietly builds up. But before we dive in, if you haven't watched the first two videos in this AMR playlist, I highly recommend starting there. They lay the foundation for everything we're about to discuss. Antimicrobial resistance isn't just happening in hospitals or in faraway labs. It's happening right here, in our homes, our markets, our schools, our water, and even in the everyday products we use. So let's clearly break down what actually drives AMR in communities. 1. Misuse of antibiotics by the public. One of the most powerful forces behind AMR is how we use and misuse antibiotics. When someone buys antibiotics without a prescription, uses leftover antibiotics, stops midway once they feel better, or takes antibiotics for viral infections like flu, colds, or COVID, we unintentionally train bacteria to mutate. Antibiotics kill the sensitive bacteria first, but the small group of bacteria that survive, those become stronger, spread, and carry resistance genes with them. Every incomplete dose, every wrong antibiotic, every unnecessary pill is like giving bacteria a practice round to get better at surviving. And they do. 2. Poor hygiene and sanitation in public places. Our daily spaces, public transport, classrooms, markets, toilets, offices, are full of surfaces shared by hundreds of people. When hand hygiene is poor and cleaning is inconsistent, resistant bacteria persist and move easily from hand to hand, from rail to hand, from hand to face. Crowding accelerates this. The more people packed in one place, the more microbiomes mix, and the more opportunities bacteria have to exchange resistance genes. Even recreational spaces like swimming pools, if poorly maintained, can harbor bacteria resistant to multiple antibiotics. 3. Contaminated water, sewage, and waste. Human sewage carries not just bacteria, but resistance genes from our gut. When wastewater isn't properly treated, these genes and bacteria flow into rivers, streams, soil, and crops. People swimming, washing, or using this water for irrigation then get exposed. Even treated water can carry traces of antibiotics that create low-level pressure, encouraging resistance. This turns the environment into a massive exchange hub where bacteria trade resistance traits. 4. Everyday products that contain antibacterial chemicals. Many cosmetics and detergents, soaps, toothpastes, deodorants, shampoos, contain antibacterial compounds like triclosan. These chemicals enter water systems, where microbes encounter them at low levels. Instead of dying, many bacteria gradually adapt. Even worse, the same mechanisms that make them resistant to these household antibacterial products can make them resistant to medically important antibiotics. So a simple hand wash with antibacterial soap can indirectly fuel AMR if the chemicals persist in the environment. 5. Food from animals treated with antibiotics. When animals are given antibiotics, whether to treat illness or as growth promoters, residues and resistant bacteria can remain in their meat, milk, eggs, and waste. If manure containing resistant bacteria or antibiotic residue is used on crops, those resistance genes move from farms to food to our digestive systems. By the time food reaches your plate, it may carry bacteria that have already survived multiple antibiotic exposures. Tackling antimicrobial resistance in communities, especially in low and middle-income settings, requires a multi-sector, One Health approach. Communities interact with animals, environment, and healthcare systems daily, meaning AMR prevention must be broad, collaborative, and sustained. 1. Strengthening public awareness and behavior change. One of the most effective strategies is educating the public. A nationwide community awareness campaign can teach households, when antibiotics are necessary, why misuse accelerates resistance, how resistant infections spread in homes, food, and water, the dangers of buying antibiotics without prescriptions. This shifts community norms around antibiotic use and empowers people to protect themselves. 2. Implementing community-level One Health programs. A One Health approach brings together local public health officers, veterinary workers, agricultural officers, environmental units, and community leaders to improve waste management, promote safe water and sanitation, regulate antibiotics in animal feed, improve hygiene in markets, abattoirs, and farms. This reduces AMR spread from animals and the environment into homes. 3. Improving infection prevention and control in daily life. Communities must practice hand washing, proper food handling, safe water use, clean household environments, responsible management of livestock waste. Simple hygiene practices reduce infections, which in turn reduces the need for antibiotics, cutting off AMR at the root. 4. Strengthening local policy and enforcement. Governments and county health departments must enforce prescription-only antibiotic laws, quality control of pharmacies and agrovets, proper disposal of unused or expired medicines, standards for animal antibiotic use. Regulation ensures antibiotics are used responsibly so we can preserve their power for the future. Don't miss the next video in this series, where we'll dive into how artificial intelligence is becoming a game changer in the fight against AMR. From faster diagnostics to smarter surveillance and early detection of outbreaks, AI is opening doors we couldn't imagine a decade ago. If you found this breakdown helpful, make sure to like this video and subscribe for more content just like this. It really helps the channel grow and allows us to keep creating clear, accessible explainers on AMR and other public health issues.